Have you ever seen someone else get rich and thought, how did they do it? Well, that happened to a kid named Yusef in Cairo in the year 1650. There was an old saying back then, money slips through the fingers of the fool, but stays put in the hand of the wise. The question is, how? Now, Cairo wasn't like modern-day Cairo. It was older and much hotter. Back then, the best place to be in the early morning was at the Khan El Khalili market. Imagine the smell of spices, the sound of coppersmiths hammering, and the sight of piles of gold and jewels in the sunlight. It was a place where you could find anything from silk to stars. In the heat and hum of those crowded alleys, a 9-year-old named Yusef made a vow. I will not stay poor, he said to himself. Now, Yusef wasn't some pampered prince. He was a street-smart kid who watched life spin around him. His family wasn't rich, but they had enough. So he wasn't desperate, just curious. Yusef often saw big money here, but he knew watching wealth was not the same as building it. So instead of wishing, he started counting. Yusef began asking himself a very simple, what do people need here, right now? When he saw water carriers earn a few coins each, he took up the lightest jobs, sweeping a courtyard at dawn, carrying 2 jars at noon, and running messages by dusk. These weren't tasks that made him king, but they were capital, the first money you'd use to start a business. With each coin, he tied a knot in his twine and smiled. The knots told the story of steps, not luck. One sweltering afternoon, he met Hassan el-Chativ, an old scribe with ink-blue fingertips. Hassan drew 3 words on papyrus: income, costs, profit. Profit, he said, is what stays after you pay for everything. And cash flow is how your money moves fast. Money keeps a business alive. Yusef copied the words with his charcoal stub, realizing that numbers weren't just for counting dates. They could talk about money too. But numbers need action. So, before sunrise, Yusef visited Nura, the fast-handed date seller with a woven palm hat. Early meant a lower price from the supplier. Closer to the caravan gate meant higher demand from travelers. That gap is the margin a little bit you keep because you move the right goods to the right place at the right time. He learned quality control by sorting firm dates for travelers and softer ones for stewing. And he wrapped each handful in clean paper with a simple charcoal blossom brand that told buyers, this is cared for. When his pouch finally felt heavy, he didn't buy treats. He reinvested. A bigger basket, brighter paper, and a neat sign that read fresh dates honest weight. That's business rule? No. 2. Invest back into the business. Here's another turn. He noticed the rhythm of the Nile. Traders paid more when goods arrived fresh and fast. So Yusef shook hands with Captain Rami, a boatman with rope-scarred palms. 2. Float small bundles to riverside shops before the sun was cruel. That was logistics, getting the right thing to the right place at the right moment. That got him a small premium and loyal customers who said, the boy delivers. Still, a single product is a single risk. At noon, he sold water skins where the crowds were thirsty, and at dusk he added small oil lamps for travelers who left late. That was diversification, different items for different times. So one slow hour wouldn't break his day. Now, that's business rule. No. 3. Multiple products means multiple sales. Then came trouble. A week of high water flooded his usual alley, and a new tax gate choked foot traffic. Instead of quitting, Yusef moved his stall 3 streets over. Tested a bundle 2 date packs plus a lamp for a fair price, and kept his prices transparent so no one felt tricked. That's business rule! No! 4. Change with the times and don't play fair. Then one sweltering day, a scholar named Haj Salim approached Yusef's stall. He was a spice merchant with smile deep lines and cedarwood scales. Supply me 10 small lots each week, Salim said. Yusef agreed, learning the difference between retail, selling one by one, and wholesale, selling in groups to shops. With Hassan's help, they wrote a simple credit note deliver on Thursday, paid on Saturday, so his cash flow stayed predictable. That's business rule. No. 5. Track your money coming and going. As coins became stacks, Yusef stayed small on the outside and sharper inside. He paid Nora a wrapping fee and checked every 10th pack for weight and freshness. A simple quality check that kept complaints low and repeat buyers high. That's business rule, no? 6. Make it great and keep checking. He also tracked a break-even line in his ledger, the number of packs he must sell to cover costs. That way, he'd know when a day turned truly profitable. That's business rule, no? 7. Figure out how many you need to sell to make a profit. He noticed which streets filled before feast days and which gates emptied on river festival mornings. That was demand forecasting, guessing tomorrow using the patterns of today. He set a fair price elasticity rule for himself. A small raise for night deliveries, no gouging during shortages, and a cheerful May good if anything disappointed. That's business rule, no. 8. Charge fairly based on the situation. By age 13, he upgraded baskets to small wooden crates and added a cloth. Marca a charcoal blossom in the word honest and neat script so even porters recognize his brand at a glance. That's business rule? No. 9. Add a logo or design that lets people recognize you. Captain Rami taught him to schedule around wins. Hassan showed him how to total a month and plan a season. Haj Salim, stern but fair, reminded him that promises weigh more than copper. That's business rule number 10. Keep your promises. And as he grew, Yusef formed a tiny crew. Nora rapped and greeted, a shy boy named Sami Wade, and logged. Yusef sold and delivered. They reviewed the ledger each week, circled waste, and shaved costs without touching quality. That's business rule number 11. Cut unnecessary expenses. When a rival tried to copy his paper blossom, customers still chose a Yusefbi because the experience felt better. Clean packs, warm greeting, and right team delivery. That's business rule number 12. Great service equals happy customers. By 15, his twine pouch had become a small lockbox, and his knots had become tidy columns of numbers. More important than the coins was the corridor of trust he'd built. River to stall, stall to shop, shop to traveler. He used a slice of profit to pay Hassan for evening lessons. So, Sami and Nora could learn their own ledgers because a business that teaches grows steadier than one that just takes. And on a quiet night by the river, Yusef touched the faint scar on his eyebrow and remembered his first vow. He hadn't found a secret door to riches. He had built steps. Earn small capital. Read demand. Improve quality. Brand clearly. Move goods smartly. Diversify wisely. Track cash flow. Reinvest and keep your word. That was his treasure map, inked in sweat and simple math. If you're 8 or 15 and dreaming bigger than your pocket, remember Cairo's boy who turned pennies into a path? Start where you are. Earn your first coin with honest work. Choose something people truly need. Keep a tiny ledger. Make it better tomorrow than it was today. When trouble comes, don't freeze adjust. Numbers aren't scary. They are your compass and the strongest brand in any eerie ven. 1650 as kindness you can count.